Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of USCFootball.com's film study. With USC having a bye week at the midpoint of the season, we're going to do something a little bit different this week. We're going to break down the top 10 plays of the first half of the 2021 season, including multiple Drake appearances. That'd be Drake London and Drake Jackson. We've recently opened up our film study series to non-VIP members of USCFootball.com on our YouTube channel, but only VIP members get access to the videos the week following each game. So if you want the latest breakdowns without delay, make sure you subscribe at USCFootball.com and become a member of the Peristyle, the largest community of USC fans on the internet, going for over 2 decades now. Make sure you also hit the like button down below and subscribe here on YouTube to get all of our content, from practice interviews to instant analysis to everything else here as well. Before we get to our number 10 play, let's start right here. This is in the Utah game, early in the game, USC's first drive. You want every play to be successful, but sometimes a play that doesn't work can be successful, such as this one, since it sets up our number 10 play, our number 10 highlight of the first half. You're going to see right here, you see Drake London came down, a little short motion, kind of went into the tight end spot, and he's going to come across the formation. He's going to be used here as a blocker. He's going to get outside and block this outside defender. You're going to see him pick up the cornerback here. Keontae Ingram's going to go on a run, and another block needs to be made right here for Keontae Ingram to get outside and be able to make a play there, but that sets up this next play. Here we go. We're going to see the same motion from USC. You see Drake London come down, and this time you're going to see they're going to fake the run to the opposite side, a little play action here. They're going to run it to the boundary side, the play action, so that they give Drake London more room out here. They want him to be able to catch the ball in the flat, and because of the previous play that we just showed, the defender is going to have to, pay attention to Drake London, but also check that play fake. We've seen this look from the defense has seen this look, so they're going to look and say, all right, is that a run? Is that a run? No. All right, now I need to get outside to Drake London. And that little bit of hesitation is all the space Drake London needs. Now he's able to catch the ball. He's got some room to work, and then he just does some Drake London things. You see him coming down the sideline. Look at him thinking about it right now. He elongates that stride and then leaps right over a defender, doing what Drake London does. Some big-time plays, big-time highlights. You got to get him into the top 10, starting with number 10 right there. Our number 9 play comes from the season opener with Greg Johnson's pick 6 early in the fourth quarter against San Jose State to create some separation for USC and enable them to go on to a 30-7 win. But right now it's 16-7. San Jose State's trying to drive and make this a close game. They got a 3rd and 2 here, so they're trying to pick up the first down, trying to get the ball to their playmaker, Derek Deese, who's the tight end on the end of the line right here. A little bit of a bunch formation from San Jose State, but USC is going to create some confusion. That's one thing as a defense you're always trying to do, because if you're trying to process and decipher information as an offense, you're going to play slower. USC creates some confusion with their alignment on this one. They're playing a half-man, half-zone concept. At the top half, you got Jaden Williams. He's going to be in man coverage with the safety over the top to help out. But on this side, you're going to play some zone coverage. You're going to have Isaac Taylor-Stewart dropping into a shallow zone. Greg Johnson is going to be here in the middle of the field in a little bit shallower of a zone, while Kanai Mauga, actually, the linebacker, is going to drop a little bit deeper. So USC is going to create some confusion because Nick Starkel is going to look, he's going to see this and say, hey, that's man coverage, I got that. So when this tight end that's standing up here goes inside, he expects Greg Johnson to go with him. He makes a quick decision because USC's pass rush has been getting to him. Hasn't been able to sack him in this game, but they've been getting there and getting some hits on him. He's going to look over here, think Greg Johnson's going to go inside. He doesn't, and Greg Johnson's reading the eyes of the quarterback the entire way. He takes it, and when you're in a zone coverage, you have a better opportunity to read the eyes of a quarterback like this, and USC gets a big play from their secondary. He takes it to the house, 6 points for the defense. We mentioned that there were going to be multiple Drake appearances, where our number 8 highlight is actually because of Drake London, but is actually a highlight of Keontae Ingram. He's going to get a 53-yard run here against Colorado. Colorado is trying to fool USC by bringing the safety down into the box. You're going to see here at the top side, they're going to take the corner and back him off a little bit and try to make USC see this and say, oh, there's a bunch of guys in the box, we should try to throw the ball. But that safety is actually coming down to bracket Drake London. Is going to be a coverage where he's going to be underneath of of Drake London on this play with the cornerback playing on top of it. But because of that, the safety is now out of the picture. You're going to see him immediately at the snap of the ball. He's going to turn his head. He is now locked in on Drake London. So that guy's out of the picture. So if USC can get to the second level, there's a big hole in the defense where they're going to be able to run through, and that's what's going to happen on this play. Now, I should note that USC is in the pistol formation, something they're using a little bit more this season so far in the first half. And this was the first play that they had shown it in this game. They've been motioning from the pistol down to the shotgun, but this time they stay in the pistol. You're going to see Eric Cromenhoek's going to come across. He's going to get a nice kick-out block right here. He doesn't have to do too much. Just create that lane right there because Cortland Ford is sealing off this side, and look him just crash down on this. Andrew Voorhees gets to the second level and does just enough on the linebacker, Nate Landman, to keep him from coming across to make the play. But just look at this giant gap over here, and now look at the top side. Why is there that giant gap? There's the safety right there that would normally be playing in this area, and Keontae would be trying to beat him. But because Drake London has already gone off in this game against Colorado, they're trying to double team him as much as possible, keep him from being the guy to beat them. And because of that, there's an open lane here. Keontae Ingram's going to break through. He's going to run. He's going to get chased down because Christian Watson, the cornerback up here, is going to get him eventually as Keontae Ingram tries to avoid the safety coming from the other side of the field. You can't see in the picture until right about now. But just a huge run, an explosive run, and that's something that's been missing from USC's offense in the past in this air raid offense is where are those explosive runs? They get one here, but that all starts with Drake London and the effect that he's having on defenses. We see how Drake London can affect the run. Now let's see how Drake London opens things up in the pass game as well for his teammates. You see right here, Colorado, USC's been getting killed by Drake London, but they're also giving up chunk yardage in the run game. They had 5 in the box. They had a 2 high safety look to protect over the top of Drake London, but also to help out with all the other receivers. But they have to go to 6 in the box because USC's getting 10 to 12 yards a pop on this drive with facing only 5 minutes. So they take a safety out, bring an extra linebacker in, but this is going to have, with a 1 high safety look now, and he's right down the hash. So take a look at where he's at on the field because they want to stay as close as they can to Drake London, who's the top receiver over here. That means USC is going to have one-on-one opportunities on the opposite side, and this is going to be Michael Trigg down here. He's going to run a slot fade, and because Keaton Slovis puts this outside the hashes, the safety is not going to have a chance to get all the way across the field to be able to help out and make a play here. So we're going to roll it right here, and we'll see Keaton Slovis, nice pocket, plenty of time to throw. And look, the safety is just jogging because he doesn't think he can affect the play. He get the catch right here. Nice job by Michael Trigg going up to make the play. He's just too strong for this defender, makes the catch over him. And because the safety was loafing a little bit over here, he can't catch up with Michael Trigg to, potentially push him out of bounds at the 5 at the 10-yard line. So USC is going to get a 46-yard touchdown, but it all again starts with what Drake London does to open up the offense. Nice play by Michael Trigg, but it helps when you got a big brother like Drake London that gives you that one-on-one opportunity. Our number 6 play comes from Kyle Ford. Hasn't played much this season, but has produced when he's been in there. And great to see him back after 2 ACL injuries. He's going to get a touchdown here against Washington State. Is one of only 2 snaps he played in this game, the only pass play, and he catches a touchdown on it. It's going to be we're going to see a similar look that we just saw from Colorado. But look at where the safety is here. They have a single high safety. See, he's in the middle of the field rather than straight up the hash. Now Drake London not in here. If he was up here on the top, Colorado would have had him on the hash. You see how far that distance is. He has a better chance being here in the middle of the field to cover both sides as a single high safety. But Jackson Dart, the quarterback, made some nice plays in this game, stepping in for Keaton Slovis. You're going to see him here. We're going to see him keep his eyes, looking to the right here. That keeps the safety in the middle of the field just long enough that he can now turn back to Kyle Ford, knowing he's got one-on-one coverage out there, puts it up. Kyle Ford goes and makes a play. But I want to look at one thing that Kyle Ford did here from a different angle, and we're going to see a nice play by him. You're going to see he gets outside release. He's got a step on Jalen Watson, who's a former USC commit who had been talking a lot of trash in this game, back and forth with the USC sideline. But watch what Kyle Ford does here. You're going to see he's going to keep Jalen Watson's hands off him, but he switches and goes inside of him. By going inside of the DB here, he can now go up and high point this ball without having to go over the defender defensive back to try to make this catch. He can go up and make the catch inside of him. He makes a nice play here, and Kyle Ford with the big touchdown catch there for USC to create a little bit more separation against Washington State and just prove their point even more in Dante Williams' first game as interim head coach. Before we get to the second half of our top 10 plays of the first half of the 2021 season for USC, a couple of bonus plays. Let's give some special teams some love here. This is the opening kickoff of the second half at Washington State. USC got a big momentum play before the half, but here's one to keep that momentum going. They miss a tackle, but look at everyone rallying to the ball. They knocked the ball loose, and there's Parker Lewis, the kicker, to jump on it. Let's take a look at it from a different angle. Micah Kroom, the Dartmouth graduate, is going to jump in there. Graduate transfer for USC, comes in, has been a special teams maven for USC. He's going to punch the ball free right there, and you see Parker Lewis standing around going, oh wait, there's the ball, and he jumps on it. Him and Micah Kroom wrestle over it, but Parker Lewis, the kicker, is going to get credit for the recovered fumble there, and USC gets the ball back for their offense. And let's give some love to the punter. Ben Griffiths, the Aussie transplant, is averaging almost 46 yards a punt this season, including this 71-yarder. This ball just in the air is almost 70 yards. It's going to take a bounce. Britton Covey is not going to be able to field it cleanly initially, but great coverage as well. That's Taj Washington, the wide receiver, getting down there in a blowout game, but you see USC still giving some effort there, and a 71-yard punt with a one-yard return. A tremendous special teams play right there. Let's jump back into the countdown with number 5 from the season opener. Drake Jackson is going to show outstanding awareness, and it's going to start with him being in the 2-point stance. It's going to give him a little bit better vision than being down a 3-point stance, and he's going to be able to see Nick Starkel right here, who's going to pump fake out here like he's throwing a quick screen to this wide receiver that was in motion, and immediately whip his head back around. When he whips his head back around, with that pump fake, he's trying to influence the defense, these safeties that are in the back end of the defense, trying to spread them out to get them to go left. When you immediately whip that head back around, it's usually going to be some kind of screen action. It's going to be either a wide receiver screen to the opposite side, or, as it is on this case, trying to get the ball to the running back in the middle. Because there's pressure coming from Tuli Tuipulotu, Nick Starkel doesn't have as much time to assess this as maybe you'd like, and you see Drake Jackson, he recognizes the play. He's going to get off of the block here and go make just an outstanding play to intercept this pass, and we're jumping up, making the play there, and then he shows the athleticism, avoiding a couple tackles there, spin move. You're going to see him use the stiff arm, give a juke right here, and going to get outside. And if he gets one more block, maybe he gets out the edge. But at the same time, you see the shadow up here. Can't see him too well on this copy. But Greg Johnson is looking for the pitch. And if he pitches the ball out to Drake Johnson, he's got an open running lane to go for the touchdown. But also, if Greg Johnson comes and blocks this guy, maybe Drake Jackson also has that open running lane. Instead, he gets tackled here, but just a tremendous effort by the USC outside linebacker to make a play and get the ball back to the offense early in this game in the season opener. Good safety play can make up for a lot of mistakes. And it seems like there's a little bit of a mistake on this play, but our number 4 play is going to be this Calen Bullock interception. You're going to see here at the top end, Joshua Jackson looks like he's in a man coverage with this outside receiver, while Jalen Smith, I don't know if there's a miscommunication between one of these guys, if there's a missed call coming in from the sideline, but it looks like Jalen Smith is going to pass this wide receiver off like he's expecting there to be another defender there to take him, whether it be he sits down in a zone on top of this. It seems like he's playing a zone coverage while Joshua Jackson's playing a man. We see Jalen Smith sit here and then point out to the safety, but Calen Bullock playing the high-end safety is going to do a tremendous job of getting over the top on this play. You see him come into the frame here. He was running. He turns his head as he gets to the receiver, and then he just turns into the receiver, does a perfect job of squeezing the wide out into the sideline, going up and making the play himself. Interception. You can't teach it any better than that. Perfect play from the freshman Calen Bullock to get the ball back to USC once again in this third quarter that they dominated against Washington State. Our number 3 play actually came the last play from scrimmage before Calen Bullock's interception, and why Washington State was trying to take a shot on that play is because USC is going to get a big strip sack from Drake Jackson, recovered in the end zone for a touchdown by Tuli Tuipulotu. Just a phenomenal play by Drake Jackson, who's circled right here. You're going to see him just blow by the offensive tackle. Liam Ryan, who's Washington State's left tackle, one of the really good tackles in the Pac-12, blows by him, uses his hands great, and then you see the speed, you see the closing speed and the power, and he's like a lion on the plains, just seeing that prey. He gets wide right here, and instead of just going for a big shot in the back, and hitting the quarterback hard, engulfs him with his arm, swipes down on the football, knocks it free here. It's going to be recovered by USC. We'll see it from a different angle as well. Just see the blow-by speed that Drake Jackson has on this, just going right by him and just huge. But watch the awareness of Tuli Tuipulotu. Sees it on the ground, throws his lineman out of the way, and snatches it here with his left hand, showing the strength from Liam Ryan, who could have got in and saved 5 points by getting a safety instead. But just tremendous play by both the USC's outside edge rushers, defensive end Tuli Tuipulotu, and outside linebacker Drake Jackson. Our number 2 play comes from earlier in the Washington State game, possibly the most important positive play for USC this season. 4th and 9, USC down 14-0 with less than a minute to go in the first half. They're going to go for it on 4th and 9. They called a timeout and thought about a field goal. Drake London said, let's go for it, kind of gave him the look to Dante Williams, and he went with his players on this one. You can see Drake London down here, 4th and 9. Washington State's going to be thinking, this guy's getting the ball. They're going to go to their playmaker, Drake London, try to pick up that first down, get in field goal range, closer field goal range, try to score here before the half. So they're going to go with a 3-high look. You're going to see a single safety here, but you're going to see a dropout here. You're going to see the dropout there. And then Jalen Watson is actually going to be covering this side of the field initially. You can see as he starts his drop here on the snap of the ball, he's going to open up his hips. That tells me that he's staying wider and he's going to be the top end defender here. You see the dropout here to try to take away the underneath route from Drake London. But when Drake London runs inside on this route, which we can't see from this view, but when he does that, we'll see right here, Jalen Watson came hard down on that, and that's what's opening up this big space out here on the top. And, Gary Bryant's going to run a post, get behind the linebacker, and going to be able to score on this play. We can see what happens on the other side of the formation, away from Drake London on this other view here. We see Gary Bryant's going to be running this post pattern here. He's going to run at this top safety right here and then cut across. You're going to see the linebacker is going to be underneath him, is going to be trying to guard him. And the safety on the top here is going to get turned around because Taj Washington is going to be available over the top as well. So if the safety turns and comes inside with Gary Bryant, then Taj Washington should be open. So this play had multiple answers for Jackson Dart, and Gary Bryant getting one-on-one with the linebacker is a huge advantage for USC. He gets behind him. Jackson Dart throws it out there. Touchdown USC, gets some momentum going into halftime, and they'll carry it into a huge third quarter performance. The final play on our countdown is actually going to be a two-parter. We're going to give Drake London 2 plays because he's been that good this year. First, the 1st and 20 play, USC gets a holding call to get backed up. So what do? Let's find Drake London. USC is in a pistol right here. You see Drake London is going to be the top receiver. There was one high safety in the middle of the field. The one high safety can't get to a ball that's on the outside the numbers. That's just not, physically possible for a cornerback if you throw it out there at the right spot. But Drake London just showing the hops. And as I asked him earlier this year, what do you think? What's your mentality in that one-on-one? Just go dunk on him. And that's what he does on this defender right here. Just goes up over him. Defender can't do anything right here. Drake London's just too big, too beastly. Makes a catch. USC now down at the 2-yard line. Let's see it again. Go up, throw it to the man, let him go do work, and that's what he does. And then 2 plays later, what happens? Throw it to the man again. You're going to see Colorado is here. He's going to have inside leverage with the cornerback, so USC is going to look for the fade, and USC is going to throw – Keaton Slovis actually going to throw a back shoulder fade here, despite good coverage right here from the cornerback. Just no chance to stop this. Drake London said he even lost sight of the ball in this because of the great coverage, but he put his hand where he thought the trajectory of the ball was going to be and just stuck it out there one-handed. What a catch from Drake London. Let's see it again. London's been telling cornerbacks all season, you can't guard me, and really, who could guard that? What a phenomenal play. He's been fantastic all season long. But that's going to be our number one play so far in the midseason. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and hopefully you learned a little bit, and hopefully you can join us for the next time we have our film study series.